Well, I just wanted to make another video about the benefits of humor and how humor can be very healing to the body. I was really upset with our government and particularly our president, for attacks on comedians. He didn't like them because it was a pride thing for him, but honestly, comedians are very good for us. They're good for all of us. They're good for the country. They're good for all the people. Comedy is good. Laughter is good. Laughter is the best medicine. Where did I have this quote? I did have a quote. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here. A merry heart does good like a medicine, and that comes from Proverbs in the Bible, 17:22. And so it is very true. And so they say, coming from that particular quote, laughter is the best medicine. Yes, it is. And so why? Let's look at why. Well, first of all, there is, it just does all kinds of things. It promotes stress reduction. One thing that it does is it initially revs up the stress response, but then releases it. So if you've ever done there's something called deep muscle relaxation, where you actually tense a muscle but release it. And when you release it, you get this flood of relief and stress reduction. And so this was an old, I guess they still use it. I stopped using it because I get cramps. I get muscle cramps a lot if I do that tensing like that. So I stopped using that as a method of relaxation because I would often go into cramps, and so that's not cool. But I didn't used to. So I did used to use this method as it's called deep muscle relaxation, and it's a good way to relax your muscles. Well, this is very similar to what laughter and humor does. It revs up the stress response, but immediately relieves it, and with that comes a flood of relief, relaxation, and etc. And so humor, it makes a flood of endorphins, which are kind of the feel-good chemicals in your brain. This does increase your ability to handle and deal with pain. So it increases the pain threshold. It increases the production of antibodies. It stimulates the immune system. It produces more killer cells that kill, the bad cells, basically. Um, it dilutes blood vessels, promotes blood flow and circulation, very much like mild exercise does. It is a mental reset. So there's a psychological technique called reframing, and when you reframe something, you take it and look at it in a different. You twist it. You look at it in a different way, or you approach it in a different manner, or something, and this helps you cope with it. Well, this is so humor is a reframing or a mental reset, and it helps to keep you from dwelling on negativity, getting into negative mental loops, and that type of thing. So it kind of, if you're in a negative mode, it kind of kicks you out of it. It activates the, let's see if I can do this, mesolimbic dopaminergic reward system in your brain. Which is not a bad thing. It's like rewarding yourself. It let's see. It releases oxytocin, which is another feel-good chemical, and oxytocin is a chemical that's very responsible for social connection and trust and bonding. So it also can help you to build social networks and more positive social skills. It increases respiration and oxygen consumption. One of the things that a lot of people will teach you in exercise is that we don't breathe properly, really. we breathe very shallow. I think a stressful society probably is responsible for some of that, and also a sedentary society that we don't get out and exercise as much. So, something that I was told at work today, my HR man told me to um, count to 10 and take deep breaths. Well, it's not bad. It's not a bad thing to do. Actually, it might sound a little silly, but it's not, because when you take in deep breaths, you get in a nice bunch of oxygen, which your body needs. You need to be breathing less shallow. You need to breathe in deeper. And we just don't do that by means of our stressful, crazy society, which it really helps you. And that oxygen, your brain gets a nice blast of it, your heart gets a nice blast of it, your organs get a nice blast of it. And this just promotes all kinds of good. It increases circulation, it increases blood flow, and etc. It triggers the relaxation response. It increases cardiac stroke volume, so that's how much blood you're pumping, and cardiac output, which is not a bad thing. So it's making your heart more efficient. And it dilates blood vessels for more efficient blood flow. It activates the sympathetic nervous system, and so basically it does that also without raising your blood pressure. In fact, it lowers your blood pressure. It lowers risk of cardiac arrest, heart failure. It delays cardiac complications of diabetes. It improves something I can't read in my own writing. Sorry. It lowers agitation for mental anxiety, lowers stress, and it increases cognitive functioning. So it just has so many benefits. So if you watch something really funny and you laugh a lot and you feel better afterwards, there's a lot of good reasons for that. So humor is indeed the best medicine, and these are some reasons why. And I also might put a link. I read a very good article by the Veterans Administration that I just happened across, and we'll try to leave a link for this. It was a very good article. In fact, it had it in download form, and I did download it to refer to later. So laugh, guys. Find something to laugh about. Maybe it seems like there's nothing to laugh about. Find something. Find somebody that makes you laugh. Find something that makes you laugh. And let's laugh.